So a phrase that comes from our TED Talk video on good leaders. I put the phrase here, but here's the whole sentence so that you have it in all context. The only variable are the conditions inside the organization. And that's where leadership matters because it's the leader that sets the tone.
Mm.
Which is true. So I agree with that. But have you heard the expression sets the tone?
I never heard of it. And then, do you mind repeating the pronunciation of leader?
It's the leader
Okay,
that sets the tone.
leader,
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 leader.
leader. Okay,
You know,
leader.
and I think like for pronunciation, it's more similar to if the word were spelled
Mm-hmm.
Leeder. Don't pronounce the A really. Think of it as almost like a double E.
Double E. Okay. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, sure. So how about just that expression there? Would you read it for me and let's see if there's any other words that are difficult to pronounce?
Of course, that's where leadership matters because it's the leader that sets the tone.
Yeah, that was really good. And leadership, you didn't have any trouble with that, did you?
No, I don't think I did. Yeah.
No. So maybe having the ship on the end helped clarify
Yeah.
pronunciation. So the phrase set the tone, that's one you're not familiar with?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Okay, good. We're going to learn something new today. So the meaning of the phrase to set the tone, it means to establish the mood of something or the way something is done. So in the example from the video, they're saying that the leader is the person who's going to set the mood, set the tone, establish the just the
At
overall air of how
atmosphere.
something will go. Does that help?
Yeah, it does.
Think of it from a musical point of view. If you're tuning an instrument, you want to get the right tone.
Right.
So you have to set the tone for your
Mm,
instrument so that the instrument will play well and all of the tones and pitches will be spot on target.
gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another sentence that may help clarify this. Her friendly yet professional manner set the tone for the meeting.
Mm,
Right. So if you're going into a meeting and you're not sure what's the mood like,
mm-hmm.
if someone is being friendly yet professional, that would kind of tell you, okay, this is how we will behave. This is how it's going to go. And everybody kind of looks to, the leader or the head person to see, how do we go from here?
Mm, I see.
Hey, and how about that sentence? Would you read that for me?
Of course, her friendly yet professional manner set the tone for the meeting.
Yep. Good. Right. Good.
Thank you, thank you.
How about, do you feel like you understand the new phrase? Think of
I
some,
think I do, but I have one quick question. So
go for it.
when you use the phrase or expression, do
Yep.
you usually use the preposition for right after?
That's a really great question. And because I happen to have typed this phrase several times,
Mm-hmm.
and as I'm typing along, Google auto populates the word
Mm,
for,
okay.
FOR, after it. So I would
Mm,
say, yes, it's probably pretty common
mm-hmm.
because if the tone is being set, the reader or the listener will want to know for what.
I see.
So I think it would be commonly used, but I also think it could be left out depending on usage.
Gotcha.
If you just said her friendly yet professional manner set the tone or
Period.
will set the tone,
Mm,
right? Then you know that for the meeting is implied.
I see.
So I think it would depend on if you knew what the tone was being set for, maybe it could be left out.
시간이 없어서 영어를 연습할 환경이 안 돼서 자꾸 영어 실력이 줄고만 있는 것 같아서 고민이신가요? 여러분도 이제 미국 원어민 선생님과 50분간 100% 영어로 진행하는 수업을 통해서 조금 더 정확하고 자연스러운 영어를 배울 수 있습니다. 저처럼 여러분들도 하실 수 있어요. 고민하지 마시고 지금 바로 시작해보세요.
Here's some synonyms for set the tone. Establish or characterize or define.
Mm,
All right.
okay.
And you're familiar with all those three words, establish, characterize, and define?
I do with characterize and define, not establish. Now I usually uh, I know what that means, but I usually don't use that verb in a daily conversation. Does it make sense?
That totally makes sense. And I
Yeah.
would say it's probably not a word commonly used in
Mm,
daily conversation. Like you could say, I need to establish the date for the
mm,
meeting. That sounds very formal.
right. That's what I was gonna say. It sounds really formal.
Yeah, might be a good word to use in writing. If
Okay.
you're writing to a colleague or a superior,
Mm-hmm.
supervisor, then that might be a little more formal way to say something.
Right. Can you pronounce the verb establish one more time?
Establish.
Establish.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think it would be
Mm-hmm.
S-tab-lish, but
Mm,
I think it kind of all blends together. So you just say,
mm,
establish.
okay, gotcha.
Say it for me.
Abolish,
Establish.
establish.
There you go.
Okay,
Establish.
establish.
Good, good, good.
Thank you. Establish.
Sure. And then why don't you try making a sentence of your own using the phrase sets the tone?
Of course. Oh, what about this? The teacher's sense of humor and jokes set the tone for a fun class.
Oh, perfect.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I really like that. So, and I suppose the students would like that kind of a classroom also.
Right. But before we wrap it up, one quick question.
Okay.
Do you think usually, whoever, sets the tone for whatever has more power or authority usually? Do you agree with that, or it depends on the situation?
And even as you started asking that question, I thought, oh, I bet this is what he's going to ask. I would say for the most part, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But picture being in a meeting where everybody's getting along, things seem to be going well, and one person is overly cranky or overly nasty.
Mm.
So you could say, so and so was in a bad mood, and that really set the tone for the meeting.
Then in that case, can I say one apple spoils the whole the barrel? Yeah, I just looked up and then I think it is one bad apple spoils the barrel.
And does that expression make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, good. Explain it to me.
Oh, there's very
Yeah.
small tiny thing can impact on the whole thing. I don't know, does it
Excellent.
make sense? Oh, okay.
That's
Thank you.
totally really, really good. And like, has this ever happened? A basket of strawberries,
Yeah,
right?
true.
Which seem to go bad kind of fast.
Yeah.
And you find one bad strawberry and it's almost like, they're all spoiled now.
Right.
So, yep,
Thank
good
you.
proverb.